I think Bernie Sanders is a liar. I think he knows exactly what he's doing, and he wants to manipulate poor people who don't understand economics at a certain level because it sounds like candy canes and rainbows falling from the sky in his beautiful utopia where he says, the billionaires should not be making money during a pandemic. That's right, Bernie. They shouldn't. Sure, I guess. Check it out. Senator Sanders proposes a one-time tax that would cost Bezos $42.8 billion, Musk $27.5 billion. No, it wouldn't. It makes no sense. They don't have the money. Bernie's lying. What he's really trying to do is strip the hard assets and liquid assets away from these billionaires because taxing them this money means literally nothing when they have no cash to spend. They'd be forced to sell hard assets or liquid assets to get the cash to pay the tax bill. Then when the economy drops down and they lose the money they gained in this. Okay, let me slow down and explain to you what Bernie Sanders is doing here. Let me read his proposal for you first. CNBC reports top tech leaders and other billionaires would be forced to hand over billions of dollars in wealth they've gained during the coronavirus pandemic under a new bill introduced by Bernie Sanders, Ed Markey, and Kirsten Gillibrand. And they're all lying, or they're really dumb. The Make Billionaires Pay Act would impose a one-time 60% tax on wealth gains made by billionaires between March 18th, 2020 and January 1st, 2021. The funds would be used to pay for out-of-the-pocket healthcare expenses for all Americans for a year. As of August 5th, the bill would tax $731 billion in wealth accumulated by 467 billionaires since March 18th, according to a press release. If passed, the bill would tax billionaires on wealth accumulated through the end of the year, however. You see, here's the dirty, dirty game the Democrats are playing. They destroyed the economy. They locked everything down. Trump opposed it. Now, we can be fair. COVID was the culprit for the most part. This resulted in people turning to other services. You know, if you wanted to watch movies, you got Netflix. You can't go to the movies anymore. But if you want to buy products, you can't go shop because it's dangerous. Many of your shops are closed down. You got to use Amazon. All of a sudden, a bunch of these billionaires who had stock in Amazon and other companies saw their net worth dramatically increase because these are the only companies available. Any smart person recognized if you can only shop on Amazon, Amazon stock will start going up. So, of course, Bezos, for instance, sees his net worth increase. They now want to tax this. What they're not telling you is that Bezos didn't do anything and he didn't make any money. It's a manipulation of imaginary numbers. I'll tell you what, I'll give you a simple version of this. Let's say I have one rock. It's a shiny rock and it's worth $100. Well, then all of a sudden there's a lockdown, the business is shut down, and you can't find the rocks anymore. Now everyone is becoming desperate to buy these rocks, so the value of my rock goes up to $1,000. Bernie comes around and says, you shouldn't have made $1,000 on a rock during a pandemic. I didn't. I just still have one rock, bro. It's just sitting in the closet. I didn't do anything. But the rock is more valuable, so people claim I'm worth more money. Now he wants me to dish out money I don't have and didn't make. It makes no sense. What they would do then is say, well, then sell your rock, and then pay the bill. But then I won't have my rock. It's just leave me alone, right? It's my rock. I didn't do anything. My rock became more valuable. It's not my fault. These people aren't trying to become billionaires and exploiting people to make money. And all of these lefties I see posting these dumb memes are saying things like, Bernie gets it, man. These billionaires are making a profit while we're suffering. No, they're not. These are wealth gains. Bernie is trying to manipulate an emergency to seize the assets of wealthy people. It's a trick. They say, if passed, it would actually tax them to the end of the year. Under the bill, tech and other business titans who have seen their wealth shoot up during the pandemic would take huge charges. Amazon and Walmart, for example, have both seen their stock grow as Americans increasingly relied on their services. They didn't do anything. You see, the Democrats instituted these policies which jammed up the stock value of companies that were still open. And now the people holding them are being told, we want to pass a bill to take your assets from you now that we've artificially inflated your net worth. Because I'll tell you this, Amazon and Walmart see their stock go up. What happens when the lockdown ends? And these Democrats now say everything's back to normal. All of a sudden, what are we going to see Amazon drop down? So if I have 100 stock in a company, they institute a policy that forces the stock value up. Then they tell me I'm forced to sell it to pay off a bill. I do, then the stock goes back down, and now I have even less stock and even less money. It is a trick. What they're proposing makes no sense. And I have to imagine these people know exactly what they're talking about. They understand what they're doing. They understand how their policies work. And that's Bernie for you. But I bring you now to the next little tidbit here. You see, Donald Trump, he gets it, right? Well, Trump calls AOC a real beauty. Now, that's not what I'm talking about. He says she knows nothing about economics as he slams Democrats' Green New Deal. Once again, it's the same lie. These people want to whisper sweet nothings into your ears. We can have everything for free. The government can pay for it. We just got to tax the rich. When you tax the rich, eventually there are no rich and there's no one left to tax. Now, I personally don't like the idea of wealth inequality and income disparities. I don't like the idea that billionaires get to dictate for the rest of the people, like when Mackenzie Bezos dumped almost $2 billion into far-left social justice lunacy. I don't like it. I would like to see wealth inequality go down substantially. There's a lot of ways I can go about doing it, fine, whatever. But the point is, I think income disparity is bad. Let's reduce the amount of power billionaires have over the rest of us. The Green New Deal is not that plan, but I'll tell you what, it seems like the real goal of people like AOC and Gillibrand and Markey or whatever, Bernie Sanders, is to trick Americans into making them jealous about people who have access to resources. Money does not grant you access. In the short term, perhaps. But taking money from rich people and spending it won't change anything. Money is essentially, if you think about it, it's access to resources. But if money is flooding the system, then the value of that currency inflates. You need more of it to buy something. And now, or I should say the costs inflate. The inflation results in people needing more dollars. And now all you're left with is people who aren't rich. So that's what I think their real plan is. I don't agree with how they go about things. I don't agree with AOC and these plans that want to give money to people who don't work. And their actual goal is socialism. Their actual goal is stripping away power from wealthy individuals. As much as I can criticize people like Mackenzie Bezos doing these things, I don't like the idea that you would use manipulation and force to take the assets from other people. Well, Donald Trump had some choice words for AOC on this. And, he called her a real beauty, huh? President Trump yesterday called AOC a real beauty who knows nothing about the economy. The president's comments came during a speech in the battleground state of Ohio, where he accused Democrat leaders of inflicting a socialist takeover on the U.S. economy known as the horrendous Green New Deal. And yes, he is correct. The Green New Deal is a proposed plan to tackle climate change, which was initially tabled by Ocasio-Cortez, who minored in economics at college, and Senator Edward J. Markey of Massachusetts. Trump said in his speech yesterday, "The Green New Deal was conceived by a young woman, AOC. AOC plus 3, I say. AOC, that's a real beauty, isn't it? That, she a thing. She knows as much about the environment. Do we have any young children here? As that young child over there, I think he knows more, and she certainly knows nothing about the economy," he added, Trump being pretty funny. Trump suggested that the proposal, which aims to wean the U.S. off of fossil fuels, could result in the American economy regressing similarly to Venezuela. Venezuela was a very wealthy country 20 years ago, one of the wealthiest per capita, one of the wealthiest, tremendous oil reserves, everything. Now they don't have food, they don't have water, they don't have medicine, they don't have anything. Same thing could happen. Trump is right. These people are lying to you, telling you can have it all. That's the sweet, sweet nothings they whisper into your ear. The reality is things aren't so easy. People have to do work. And that's the real challenge in making any economy or any system work. Anybody who's going to come to you and offer up some pie in the sky solution, they're full of it. Hard work. It's a real thing. I had someone tell me earlier, scarcity doesn't exist. I actually favor a lot of, I think the way I describe it is basic universal coverage. We can't have hard universal health care. It doesn't make sense because some treatments are rare and scarcity is a thing. But I think we can expand services so that basic coverage is taken care of. Like if you break your hand, if you need things like insulin, it would be expensive. That to me makes more sense, but there's still an economic argument there. The idea that we could give everybody the cure for every disease is ridiculous. And they try to act like no one really means that. Okay, no. They actually tell me this. Scarcity is fake. It's all fake. The machine is just trying to strip resources from the poor. The only thing they have is they don't know what they're talking about, or they will lie to you to seize power. And once they get power, it is impossible for them to actually enact the solutions they claim they will bring about. Free healthcare for everyone. No. Certain things we can grant, expanding Medicaid or Medicare or whatever. We can grant some things to some people. But universal coverage, the way we see it in other countries, not so much. Maybe some baseline low-tier care, for sure. Probably not. It's just not that easy. I'm in favor of it. I'm in favor of exploring, figuring out how to do it. But these people, instead of telling you the truth and saying it costs money, requires sacrifice, will just lie. We can tax the rich. No, it doesn't work that way, because eventually you have no rich. All Bernie's plan is stripping wealth away from rich people who did nothing. Okay, if you had a rock and the rock is worth more money, they want to take your rock away. That's it. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, you get the point. I will leave it there. I got a couple more segments coming up in just a few minutes, and I will see you all shortly.